From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
From an assassination attempt now on Daybreak. What's next for Donald Trump as the Republican convention begins today?
Chaos and panic. A man recounts to Wish TV what he witnessed as shots were fired at the Trump rally.
Asking for help in the search for answers. What police say they need as they investigate a shooting that left 5 people wounded. It is a weather alert morning for you. We appreciate you starting this Monday, July 15th with us.
That's right, and we'll check in with traffic in just a moment. Ryan Morse is on that.
First, though, look who's here with us to start this 8 o'clock hour. Randy Alice, back for the first time in a long time. Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, it's been almost a year. Can you believe that? Almost a year since I retired here from Wish TV. So got the call or the text Friday night, and they said, "Would you want to come back?" And I go, "Okay." But no, I was thrilled they asked me, and I'm glad to be here this morning. Kind of fun to get back into the saddle and see if you can, try to nail the forecast.
Like riding a bike.
Yeah, that's what other people said, kind of like, well, the way I ride the bike, I don't think so. Anyway, good to be back.
That's a longer story.
That's another story for another day. That's right. Hey, this is at the zoo right now. Had some rain last night, some thunderstorms are really falling apart. The sun is now peeking out through. This is a live picture at the Indianapolis Zoo. And at the airport, they're saying they do have some sunshine right now. We'll call it partly cloudy skies. And the temperature at the airport, that is at air. Ryan, you may need to help me out. I don't know if the battery has died here or if I didn't load the show or whatever. Anyway, sunshine, we were doing so well, but so it took an hour. 71 degrees at the airport and a south wind. That wind has died down a little bit at about 7 miles an hour. Humidity at 81%. I think the button here, Ryan, has died. 71 here, 68 Lafayette, 72 Terre Haute, and the warm spot down around Bedford. Temperature right now at 75 degrees. Go ahead and check it out. These are the dew points, 60s, lower 70s, so it is a very warm and a humid air mass. Dew point is 65 right here in Indy. Go ahead and check out the radar. Again, there's a diminishing band of rain, thunderstorms now into southeast Indiana. That is moving away from us. So I think most of the day should be pretty good. We'll go ahead and look at the next map. This is our Futurecast model. We'll put things into motion. Could be a spotty shower, maybe a thunder shower here this afternoon, but later tonight, there's going to be another batch of rain and thunderstorms up north of us here in northern Illinois and also northern Indiana. Here it comes, and that should arrive late tonight. There is a slight risk of severe storms in the northward, an enhanced risk in northwestern Indiana. If we have any severe weather, that will occur late tonight. I think the biggest threat's going to be some strong, damaging winds and some very heavy downpours. Stay with us here. Some nice relief coming our way later this week. I'll have the latest 7-day outlook coming up in just a little bit.
Straight to breaking news out of Grant County. Authorities confirm one person is dead after a police shooting in the city of Marion. State police say no officers are hurt and there's no ongoing threat to anyone else. Happened about 5:30 this morning. We're working to learn exactly where it happened and what prompted police to shoot. We have a crew headed to the scene right now. We'll give you new information as we get it on Wish TV and wishtv.com.
Former President Donald Trump is in Milwaukee this morning for the start of the Republican National Convention.
He arrived less than 2 days after the shooting that wounded him at a rally in Pennsylvania. News 8's Hernan Gutierrez has more on what the former president is saying ahead of this pivotal week.
Former President Trump says he is moving forward with his campaign following the Saturday's shooting. Yesterday, he took to his social media platform, Truth Social, to say the shooting won't change his plans. In an earlier post, Trump says he is thinking about the person who was killed on Saturday, adding in part, "In this moment, it is more important than ever that we stand united. I truly love our country and love you all, and look forward to speaking to our great nation this week from Wisconsin." The FBI still says they don't have a motive for the shooting, but investigators say they believe 20-year-old Thomas Crooks acted alone. The FBI also says they later found bomb-making materials inside the car Crooks drove to the rally. Last night, President Biden addressed the nation from the Oval Office. Biden says his campaign for re-election will continue this week, but he is asking for voters on all sides to settle the election at the ballot box and not with violence.
We must not go down this road in America. We've traveled it before throughout our history. Violence has never been the answer.
As of now, we don't know whether Trump will make an appearance at the Republican convention on its first day today. Trump is scheduled to formally accept his party's presidential nomination in Milwaukee this Thursday. I'm Hernan Gutierrez, Wish TV, wishtv.com. Follow us on Facebook for updates.
Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday. Corey loved his community. And most especially, Corey loved his family.
Corey was a husband, a father, a volunteer firefighter, a hero, sheltering his family from those bullets. We should all hold his family and all those injured in our prayers.
Those are the words of the governor of Pennsylvania and President Biden about the man who was killed in the campaign rally gunfire. Pennsylvania's governor says Corey Comparator dove in front of his wife and daughters to protect them. State police say the gunfire critically wounded 2 other people.
A man who tells us he has family in Indiana was in the stands and says he was less than 50 yards away from where former President Donald Trump was shot. You first heard from Josh Drepling yesterday morning on Daybreak. He told more of his story exclusively to our Kyla Russell.
I heard pop, 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 pop.
Lost in a sea of MAGA hats, observer Josh Drepling sat in a front row less than 50 yards from the former president. He came to the Butler, Pennsylvania rally to witness the spectacle. He never knew he'd witness a different kind of history.
I heard the sound off to my right, and within, what seemed like hours in my head was only a few seconds, realized that this was not somebody with firecrackers screwing around.
It was something far less celebratory.
It was sounds, and and I saw him do this, and I turned and looked to my right because that's where, to me, it was coming from.
Shots and then silence. Behind the lens, Josh captured the moment.
Saw him go down, and Secret Service encompassed the podium there and everything, and honestly thought he was done. He was down. He went down, and everybody's like, they shot Trump.
Simultaneously, attendees used what they had to find safety.
When shots fired and everything, everybody dropped to their knees or on all fours, and boyfriend, girlfriend, husbands, wives, parents, and children are, huddling each other down on the ground, when shots are fired, kind of thing, like you'd see in a movie.
Josh specified it would be a horror movie with only one word to describe it.
Silence, eerie silence, that just everybody was there, just jaw dropped, is this real? Is this surreal? Is this a joke? Then
quiet turned chaos.
Heard the commotion to my right, where that video that I sent you is filmed from. One guy walked down in his own power, and they took him around into the grass off the way there, and he was laying on the ground. They were working on him. I don't know the extent of his injuries or anything, but then they eventually did load him into an ambulance.
And then came the aftermath, moments etched in memory.
People crying and tearful, and after Trump had left, there was people with their head in their hands just crying, and there was a whole just gamut of emotion from the crowd.
As reality set in, so did the day's page in history.
When I was standing there taking pictures, one of the things that ran through my head now that I think back at it was, Lincoln and Reagan, and I'm like, this is history in the making.
Reporting here in Indianapolis, I'm Kyla Russell for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
Indiana's best political team says people need to tone it down when talking to others with opposing political views. Our panel discussed the assassination attempt against America's 45th president as part of Sunday's special edition of All Indiana Politics.
We've seen it before in our history, and we understand that unfortunately emotions get high, and people have feelings about policies that are being written, but taking violent acts against someone you disagree with is incredibly morally wrong. We have to be better humans to each other. We have to see each other with compassion. So yes, I do 100% believe that if this is a step way too far, I don't want to see anyone shot or hurt because of their political position.
I want to bring you in on this as well. Tell me a little bit about how you believe individual politicians moving forward should try to bring down the temperature here.
Well, I think the crux of this is we need to not make it personal. We need to talk about our country's problems. We need to talk about our differences in philosophy and policy. But when we talk about a person being an existential risk, whether it's President Biden, whether it's President Trump or somebody else, you begin to make the environment such that people who, I have zero doubt, I don't know anything about the shooter yet, really, but I am sure he was a troubled and probably unstable young man, that this environment empowered him to feel like he was doing the right thing. And that's really the history. You look at the shooters throughout history of presidents, the people who have tried different assassinations over time, they're almost uniformly people who are very disturbed.
You can catch all Indiana politics every Sunday morning at 9:30 only on Wish TV.
IMPD is releasing new information about a shooting that happened after, they say, a fight on a basketball court late last night at the Laurelwood Apartments near Shelby Street and Troy Avenue. 5 people were hurt. They say 3 were women, a man and a 17-year-old. As of the most recent update, IMPD says one of the victims is in critical condition and the other 4 serious.
That just cannot happen in this community. We are better than that in the city of Indianapolis. We need to find better ways to help ourselves when we get into these little situations and don't let them blow up to something big like 5 people shot on a Sunday night.
Police say they detained one person at the scene. They now say that that person has been released. Investigators have not announced any arrests.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.